Now, I'm pretty sure that lots of people don't even know that this one existed. Hello YouTube and welcome to another video. So I've actually been thinking about doing this specific video for a long time, and I keep thinking of like new things, and I keep thinking that the list that I have is not like complete enough and I should wait. But I figured if I think of more things, so I'm just going to make a part 2. So this video is about Winx Club things that I think about all the time, but that I think other people might have forgotten or don't think about that much, or maybe don't even know about, because I've been a Winx fan for a really long time, pretty much 20 years now. In this list I have some things that I personally really want, and I have a few things that I also have, and I think some of these you may remember, but I tried to find things that are a little bit more obscure that maybe people don't think about. And the first thing on my list are Perletti Winx Club umbrellas. This isn't in any sort of order, by the way, I just wrote things down. So there's this Italian company called Perletti that does umbrellas, and they import Perletti umbrellas here quite a lot. In fact, one of the food stores that I regularly go to has this Perletti stand where they have Perletti umbrellas. And around the time of season 3, they also, for a brief period, had Winx umbrellas, and I have one of these. This one, it's been a while. I have actually used this one a lot, so the print is sort of starting to peel away a little bit, but it's still, like, you can still make it out. There's Bloom's name, and on the umbrella, there's this Bloom print as well in her season 3 umbrella outfit. This has actually been preserved quite okay, like Bloom's face and everything still looks okay, which I'm happy about. And I have used this umbrella a lot, so I do use this and I do use it regularly. But yeah, they just sold these Winx umbrellas at like a regular food store at the Perletti stand at one point, and I remember being so excited. They had 3 versions. They had the Bloom one, which was blue, and then they had the Stella one and the Flora one, which I think were both pink. Okay, so when I Google Perletti Winx, you can see I'm getting a lot of umbrellas. I don't know if these ones are actually by Perletti or not. It's possible that they did more than one collab. It's very, very possible. These ones look totally different from the Perletti ones that I have. See, this one looks like it might be the actual Winx one. Okay, this is some sort of a rain coat. So yeah, there are some Winx umbrellas here, but I don't see anywhere the ones that I had. And these ones, like, they open completely differently, and they're like structurally completely different. Yeah, I can't find these ones on Google, so it's good that I have one and I could show it to you, so that you know that I'm not making this up. Like, maybe it is possible to find on Google, maybe if I had looked using Italian terms. But yeah, there were 3 of them. I believe the Stella and the Flora ones were both pink, and they were like a different shade of pink. It would make sense if Stella one was orange, but I'm pretty sure it was pink. Like, I remember it being a lighter pink and the Flora one being a darker pink, and it was only the 3 fairies. Of course, I think I would have enjoyed having all 3 of them, but realistically, I don't need 3 Winx umbrellas. So I just have the Bloom one, and that one is my favorite in terms of design. I really like the color of it. And I just think of them all the time because I pass by the Perletti stand at my local food store, and I'm like, yeah, I remember when they had Winx umbrellas. And I always sort of do this like quick take that to make sure that they don't have like any sort of new Winx umbrellas. It would be cool if they did another collab when the reboot comes out or something. So I'm keeping my eye on that just in case. The other thing on my list is Flutter Magic Winx dolls. Now I think people remember these, but for me they're kind of special because I never saw those. We never sold them, but I really love the gimmick of Flutter magic. I love the fluttering wings gimmick on any doll, and I just think about these all the time. I think these are one of the things on the list that you might actually remember. These are one of the older Mattel dolls. Then another thing on my list is the Siemens Winx Club phone. Now I'm pretty sure that lots of people don't even know that this one existed, but it is possible to find pictures of it over on Tumblr, and I know that I have found an article on them once. It was the Siemens C65 edition, and yeah, it even says here that it has never resurfaced online, making it the rarest Winx merch ever, if it even was released at all. I have seen an article on it that I think was in Italian, where there was a price for this phone, and this phone was insanely expensive. But I remember they had a whole website. Does anyone remember the website? They had a whole website just for this phone, where they showcased which images you get on this phone, which Winx Club ringtones you get on each phone, and I was so obsessed with that website. I would look at this website and like, this was my dream phone. One of my other dream phones was an iPhone, which I own now, because I remember I saw one of the presentations for the very first iPhone, either the first or the second, and this was like the first time I ever saw an iPhone, and I was so blown away. But that's that. This before iPhones, before iPhones, this was like my dream phone, and yeah, I've never seen it resurfaced, like sold secondhand or anything. But I remember I saw somewhere, and then there was a price as well, and it does have a camera, so that's nice as well. And it had this gimmick, I remember, on the website, that if you would turn the phone on, then you would get the beginning of your Winx's transformation like animated, and if you turned it off, I think you would get the end. Or you would either way, every time you turned your phone on and off, like completely on and off, not just unlocking it, you would get this little animation of the Winx fairy transforming. And I remember looking at all the pictures. The website had all the pictures that would be pre-installed into the phone, and the website would have all the music that would be pre-installed into the phone. And I remember it, and I really wanted this phone. So this wasn't like just this is the same Tumblr post. I'll try and link it down below. Oh yeah, so Winx Wiki is the user. This wasn't just like a cosmetical phone, but they just had this Siemens phone case, and the phone didn't have anything Winx related inside. I remember the website was flash animated, and they had, and you could see all the pictures that came with each of the phone. Each of the phones had different images inside relating to your fairy. Oh, this photo is from Michael's Winx Club. We are going to go back to Michael's Winx Club later in this video, but there is a box. I haven't actually seen this post. I haven't actually seen this box either. So someone did have this phone. Oh wait, is this the article where they have the price? Yeah, this is the article where they have the price, and the price was 179 euros, which for the time, when was this? This is a 2004 article, so the price was 179 euros, and maybe that doesn't feel like much for a phone now, but you have to account for inflation, and I think like euro was so much stronger back then, and this is like an insane price for a phone. But yeah, we found the price, which is what I wanted. And yeah, this was an Italian article. I'll try to link the article. I'll link the article down below, and it's an article from 2004. Sadly, the Siemens website for it isn't available anymore, I'm pretty sure. And I'm also pretty sure it was flash-based. It doesn't link it anywhere here, right? You know, this talks about. So that's the Winx phone. I would still probably really want it if I sold it today, even though it's not practical at all in any way. And the next thing on my list are Winx Club emails. What I mean when I talk about this is, actually in my last video, we talked about these Winx Club profiles that they used to have on the official website. Could have been saved by Murdoch on the Winx Club Reddit. I can link this down below as well, but I also linked them in my last video. So these are from the official Winx Club website. And here you can see this little pixie and the write to me button, and this would animate and you could actually write to the Winx fairies and they would write back. I don't think it was an automated message because I don't think you got anything every time, but I definitely remember emailing Stella and getting a reply once, and I went into my old email account and tried finding that email and I couldn't, and I still don't understand how I couldn't find it because I remember getting it and it isn't there anymore. But like, I can't imagine deleting an email like that. Like, that seems so out of character. If I did, it must have been an accident. I found a lot of old emails I have sent between myself and Michael's Winx Club. I have considered making a video covering some news information that I used to send to Michael's Winx Club, but the emails themselves are so embarrassingly written, like clearly by a teen me, that I haven't gotten around to doing that video, and I might never do that. But anyways, you could write to the Winx fairies at their email. I'm pretty sure that it was literally like Stella at winxclub.com or Bloom at winxclub.com, something like that, and you would get a reply. So I couldn't find the emails via the Internet Archive, but I found this old Winx site, someone's blog, mywinx.yola site. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Here they have the official emails for the Winx girls, and I specifically remember that these were the official emails, and I'm honestly kind of tempted to try and email one of these emails and just see if it just comes back, or if you still get some sort of a response, if they still have these emails set up. I don't think they do because they no longer advertise these on their site, but these were the official Winx Club emails. And they have also copy-pasted this information from the official website back in the day, so that's cool. They also have the US birthdays and the American and the Italian birthdays, so that's cool. And they also have like the catchphrases that 4Kids did. This is a fun blog. I'll link this blog down below. Now, in the similar vein to the Winx Club emails, we also have the Winx Club blogs. And now I do think that a lot more people remember these than they remember the emails. I think the emailing thing wasn't maybe used as widely, or I feel like people don't remember that one so clearly. Here I have the 4Kids website. In it, they had this section latest blog entries. I'm also using Ruffle to make the flash bits work, so if you're wondering about how these work, then I'm using Ruffle to make the little flash things work. There's no sound for some reason. Now, this is something that sort of passed me by as a kid a little bit, because when I started being a Winx fan, then I was only 10 years old, and at 10, my English was like, I only knew like some basic words and things, and I could navigate the site, but I never read the blog entries because I just didn't speak enough English. I think my English started getting significantly better actually when I joined YouTube at 13. And at that point, of course, the websites were still around, but I never really read these blogs until much later. And until much later, I realized that, hey, these are actually really cool, and I actually feel really sad that I didn't read them at the time, just because I literally didn't have the skills. But these are really interesting, and I really love that they did this roleplay thing. They also had a live chat. Oh, okay, the sound works now. Some of the sound works now. I feel like some of the other stuff here has had sound as well. I really love how they put clothes in here that Bloom actually wears in the series. That's so much fun. And I did love these little fairy cams, like, although this sort of implied that Bloom was pretty much online 24/7. I mean, she's not here right now, but she comes back really quickly. But I love how they made these little webcams. I think that's super cute. Yeah, the links don't work. But you can like click on different fairies. Oh, it's the same outfit. Musa has the same outfit. And yeah, you would have these little blog posts. Musa's only has one. Bloom's had loads more. And they also had one for Sky. And they had Icy's one as well for the tricks. So yeah, you can still access these if you have a Flash emulator of some sort. And I think the blogs are even available without a Flash emulator. But yeah, I think it's really cool that they did this little roleplay things, and I'm really sad that I didn't speak English enough at the time to properly enjoy them. These were done by Bashbang Productions, as you can tell here. Now, a couple of years ago, I did look them up, and at that point, they were still in business, and their website actually had listed in their portfolios what they did for the 4Kids site, and they also did these live chats with fans at one point, which I also never got to be a part of, and I'm really sad. If you got to be part of these live chats, do tell me in the comments below, because I think that's so cool. You were able to read them back somewhere at this website, I remember, but I was never like part of them because I didn't realize that they were happening, and also I didn't speak enough English. But yeah, Bashbang Productions sort of did roleplay as the Winx characters for this site, and I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool that they did these blogs. And yeah, they are no longer in business. Like a few years ago, I looked them up and they still had a website and everything, but I tried finding them now and there wasn't anything. So they are no longer in business, it seems. Like there are lots of other companies using that name, doing like event planning and whatnot. But that brings us to the next item on our list, which is the Winx Club trading card game. Now, I do think that this is one of those things that some people do remember, and I actually have 2 different videos on my channel about this trading card game and how it works. Check out the newer one if you want. The old one is very badly filmed. This actually had a season 2 version as well, and I have some boosters from this season 2 version, but not the whole set. I don't think I ever even saw like the entire suitcase. I know that some people still definitely collect them and remember these, because I got recommended some YouTuber who did a lot of unboxings for these boosters, and at some point I feel like they were relatively cheap as well. Like this wasn't really the Winx collectible everyone was looking for, and I feel like when people were selling them they were relatively cheap. But now I found a post on Reddit that said that they're expensive, and if I tried finding them on eBay, I do find some cards, but if I'm looking for Winx trading cards on eBay nowadays, I'll show you what happens. I find a lot of these Chinese collectible cards that came out a little bit ago. There's also a Panini set. These came out a bit ago, and I was actually tempted to get those and make an entire video unboxing a box, but I was like, I don't need so many Winx cards. I mean, I will love them, but I don't actually need them. There are some collectible card game things here as well, but yeah, there are surprisingly few and far between. There's the album. But yeah, this like the album isn't very expensive. We sold the album here just a couple of years back because they would just stay on the shelves for that long, because people get the cards and the boosters, but the albums were available for years. So I actually have 2 of these albums. Yeah, but if you look for trading cards, mostly you will find the new Chinese ones. You do find some of these trading cards as well. The prices vary, but I still think they're not like insanely expensive. But they're not as easy to find as they once were. Actually, €3 for one, it's not that cheap. Here you have some of the season 2 ones. I feel like the season 2 ones are really especially hard to find. And here too, like we sold the season 1 ones, so I have a lot of those. But the season 2 ones were only sold in Finland, so I don't have a lot of the season 2 ones. Here some people are also selling the Italian ones, so you gotta look up for the language if you actually want to play the game. then you would need to get the entire case because this one is like a starter set, and eBay doesn't seem to have any starter sets at the moment. So if you actually want to get the starter set, that one is harder to find. I saw someone say on Reddit that they should start, like, if they want to sell it, they should start bidding at $100, which I thought was a lot. I'm just gonna open it, show some things inside. If you want, there's like, again, there's another whole video on this. I have a booster pack. Here we have some of the cards. I love these. I think this is, like, I play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I love Yu-Gi-Oh! But I think this is my other absolute favorite card game. I absolutely love this game. Also, the cards are scented, which is so nice. Like, the scent is starting to wear off, but it's really, really nice. I recommend picking it up. It is one of my favorite games, but obviously I am super biased towards it. If I ever find more boosters, I would definitely get them. The season 2 ones are particularly hard to find. Trading card games are once again really popular, so if the reboot comes, I would be really happy if we also got a reboot of the trading card game and had another Winx Club trading card game. There have been other Winx cards as well. Like, I have one set that are fully in Italian, that are almost like test cards. I don't know what they are because they're fully in Italian and I've never like translated them, but I have another set. And then there are of course the cards that came with dolls that were just like collectible additions to the dolls. But yeah, today I just wanted to mention the Winx Club trading card game. I wanted to mention these specific Winx Club shampoos. We sold these in Estonia. It was again one of those sets that had, I think this is a later version. I never sold this version, but we had Flora, Stella. We definitely had the Stella one and a Bloom one. The Bloom one was in a blue box and looked like this, and they all were differently scented. And especially the Stella and Flora ones smelled so nice, and they were actually like such nice shampoos, like quality wise. And I absolutely love these. These were my favorite Winx Club shampoos. They also had a shower gel with them, so it was like a set of shower gel and shampoo, but the shampoo was so good. But yeah, they were legitimately such nice shampoos. Does it say the scent? Yeah, it's like rose icing sugar. Then I wanted to mention the Winx Club Nutella cups, specifically season 1 ones, which I think are these ones. I think, I'm not completely, these seem to be like season 1 ones. These were advertised in one of the Winx Club PC games I had that I talked about in another video, and I really hoped that they would come to Estonia, and I always looked up for Nutella glasses that had Winx Club on them and never found them. So these are something that I would really want. I'm still like sort of semi looking for them, and I just recently had a dream at night that I found them, so this what made me think of them again recently. But yeah, these are one of those collectibles that I for some reason just really want. Like, I remember wanting them from my childhood, and I still feel the same way. I would be super happy if I found them. I was also going through the Internet Archive earlier, and I wanted to give an honorable mention to this version of the Winx Club website, because I don't think it gets talked about a lot. If you use Wayback Machine, you can actually still get, you need to have a Flash emulator, I think, but you can still get some Winx Club backgrounds, so that's so nice. So yeah, I think this version of the website is kind of underrated, and I also loved this intro. I don't know if it's gonna play, but it used to be like an animated intro. I don't think it's gonna play. I think this was the first version of the winxclub.com website that I visited, and I guess Winx Club wasn't like super popular yet, so this version doesn't get talked about as much. And last but not least, I want to talk about something that I have no proof of whatsoever existing, but I remember existing, and I've tried to look it up online and I can find absolutely nothing on it online. So I am asking for your help to find this thing. For other things, some of them I have, some of them I can look up online and show you photos and say that yeah, this is really rare and I haven't really seen it, but like I have proof that it existed. But one of the things that I remember seeing photos of it on Michael's Winx Club, which, if you don't know, was a huge Winx Club fan site, but it was very well known for being a trusted news source, and that had sort of reporters or people reporting all sorts of Winx news all over the world. You could email Michael and they would publish it. There are also interviews with Michael over on YouTube. I still haven't watched them personally, I should. But Michael's Winx Club was a great site, and on it I remember specifically there being photos of a New York Winx Club themed pop-up store. And I remember it being like season 1 themed, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it wasn't season 2 themed. I remember there being like huge glass windows and these decals of the Winx. And inside there was a lot of merchandise, mostly the season 1 Mattel dolls. And I remember seeing pictures of it and thinking, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. If only I could have gone to New York at this time and go to this store. Like this is one of those things I also think about a lot, that I would have just loved to go to the pop-up store in New York. But the thing is, I can't even find any information on the pop-up store having existed in the first place. Like, I went through Michael's Winx Club on Internet Archive, and I couldn't find the news there either. Granted, their news site is like huge and really long, but I tried to go through the years where I felt like it would have been logical for the pop-up store to have been on the website, and it might have been on one of the non-news sites, because Michael's Winx Club was a huge site and there were loads of other sites as well. But I just remember there being pictures of these Winx Club New York pop-up store and thinking, oh my god, that would have been so cool. Do you remember this? But please tell me if you remember anything about this store, because I have googled, I have tried to find, and I can't find anything on that store, like any mention of it even having existed. And it's so interesting how these kinds of things sometimes completely get erased from history. Just the other day, I was looking for a bowling alley that I remember used to exist in a mall near my home, and I remember very clearly there having been a bowling alley. It was one of the few times I ever bowled in my life. And for actually finding information that proved that there was a bowling alley there, like 15 years ago, proved to be pretty difficult, and I found some. But the thing is, even though internet feels like everything there is forever, some stuff just gets completely lost to time, and I find that so interesting. But also, I tried looking so hard for this New York pop-up store, and I can't find any information on it. So do you remember it? Do you remember seeing photos of it at least? Like, do you remember, like, I'm not making this up in my head. And do you, and if any of you like managed to visit this pop-up store, let me know in the comments below. Like, it's one of those things that I think about, like, oh my god, this would have been so amazing. I wish they did like a whole Winx Club pop-up store somewhere again. Like, that is such a cool thing. But yeah, this was the only thing on the list that I couldn't find any definitive proof of, but I wanted to talk about nonetheless. I had a few more ideas, but this video is already so long. If you'd like to see a part 2, let me know. Give me a like at least. Like, that way I know. If you remember any of these things, or if you don't remember any of these things, also let me know in the comments. Especially tell me about the New York store, because I really struggle to find any information on it. If you have any information on it, like, please let me know. If you enjoy watching Winx Club content, I do it pretty regularly here on this channel, so make sure to subscribe. I also do other kinds of content, like doll content and sometimes Japanese fashion content, so make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!